to sit still, look pretty. I'm not alone in the studio this time. The duo is back.
That's right, I'm back. Together with my partner in crime. Episode 4 is going to be a blast because we are back together.
Forever, not It's been a hot minute since we've shared the space together, I have to say. Doing a solo episode right after episode 1 gave us no time to ease into it whatsoever, in a sense that I think we did it once, and our very first one at that most, and then we were like, okay, we're on
solo.
we're on our own now. We got to figure it out, which was, I mean, I don't know how it was for you, but I have to say it was the most nerve-wracking thing for me. I mean, I do have a newfound respect for Priyanka as the creative head of Sit Still Look Pretty, because trying to script an entire episode by myself was absolute hell for me. On top of, producing it, you're doing everything from A to Z to yourself. But I feel like it was a very good exercise in getting each other to appreciate the other more, because I truly appreciated Priyanka. I mean, I appreciated her before, but there is like a newfound respect for what she does. But having said how difficult it was, I have to say it was also very fulfilling to do a solo episode once it was completed.
Of course.
Once it was completed, it became a very fulfilling experience, because I think, or at least for me, I found myself just, putting everything on the plate, I didn't realize this about myself, that I'm actually a very picky person, or maybe it's just because when it comes to Sit Still Look Pretty, I'm very particular about what goes out. So I did my first recording and I scraped it. I didn't like it. It will never see the light of day. It was trash according to Priya standards, even though Priya did it.
A funny story that you all should know at this point. I didn't get to see what was like the first round standard. She was like, nope.
Yeah, it wasn't even, bearable enough for you to listen to it. I was not satisfied. I was like, So I recorded it a second time. Everything had to be I feel like doing content that is presentable enough for listeners is one thing, but when you're doing something, you want it to be at least good enough for yourself. You have to find it satisfying and you have to find it good, so that when it goes out, you're putting your best forward.
Right.
So, so I did record it a second time and I found it way better, and I was so happy with it, and I felt so accomplished, and it took a full circle to get to that level. But how was it for you, my love?
Oh God. Like, definitely like what you said, after doing an episode together, to suddenly sit in a studio and like record an episode by yourself, and the topic that I was given, I was like, okay, I should bare my heart and my soul. And not that every episode we don't bare our heart and soul. Of course we do. But you get what I mean, in the sense of like, even your episode, right? I just want to say at this point, yes, it might have been a struggle for you to record and to piece it by yourself. But now that I look back and I was thinking the other day also to myself, I was like, thank God I didn't script for you, because I feel like what you said wouldn't have come out. At the end of the day, I feel like this episode that you did was solid, in the sense of, I think people really, to those people who listened to episode 3 of Priya's, like, y'all would have really got to know her for who she is. And I think that's something that our listeners definitely deserve to, to know you for who you are. I think you really bet your soul in it, and now it's becoming about you. The question was about me.
She wants a free lunch.
Thank you, Priya.
I never said yes, Priya. Go on.
But I think for me, I guess like at that period of time, I was able to like definitely bare my soul and everything. But I think my heart moment came when it was time to release the episode. I remember I didn't want to release the episode, so I kept delaying, and then I never knew why I keep pushing the date back. And then it finally hit me, okay, you're pushing the date back because you're so scared to launch this episode, because the full attention is on you. And this episode, there were a lot of things that I said in episode 2. If you have not listened to it yet, it's your loss.
It's a juicy one.
But yeah, I think the struggle came in when I had to launch the episode. But thank you. Priya came like the night with shining armor. She was like, no, you have to release it. It's a good episode. So I was like, okay, yeah. Anyway, not like I could go back to the studio and record like a tamed one. I was away already by then. So it's a good experience. And I think for both of us, I think it's of course a very nice feeling. I think definitely we want people to know us as Priya and Priyanka. We come as a pair, for sure. But I think it's very important for people to know us as individuals also. We are very different as people. That one we know. But I feel like from the episode, people would have learned that, okay.
Yeah, that it's true. But I think what you mentioned, like, unfortunately, it's a good thing that Priyanka didn't want to re-record because she couldn't possibly have. Because Miss Priyanka was not in Singapore. She was all the way at, let me pronounce this right, people, Edinburgh. She was all the way at Edinburgh in Scotland for summer school. But tell us, I mean, I got to hear all the juicy exclusive as your other half, but for our listeners, spill the tea, my love.
Definitely, I think the struggles were also very real when I was abroad. I think it was very eye-opening for me. Did I come back as a changed person? I did, for sure. A part of me was like, it clicked, I think. Most importantly, right, what this entire experience has shown me is the fact that we live in a world, or at least, sorry, I cannot use the word we. Maybe there are people who live in a different type of world, but at least I lived in a world whereby, okay, so this is life. We go to school, we come back, you work, it's always a routine here that we see. So weekends, you go out, you meet your friends, you have fun, you come back home. Like that's, or at least that's how I saw it. That's all there is to life. And then when you go abroad, you stay in a country so far away from Singapore, you can't even like, you mood swing or so, or like you feel homesick. It's not like you can fly back home the next day. So I guess like in one way or another, I learned that it's very important to be independent in life because when you're thrown away so far, when you're scrambling, you're in fear or whatsoever, the truth is you really have no one to rely on. Like one thing that was frustrating at many points of time was the time difference because Singapore and Edinburgh time difference was 7 hours. So by the time like when my day starts,
my day ends.
Exactly. Yeah. So sometimes like when we are calling each other, it's like, oh, I'm outside. But then you are like going to sleep. Or like when I'm calling my family, it's like, oh, they are busy having like dinner. So the timing is like, it will just not fit in as the perfect time. Somebody has to give up if you realize. It's either like you give up or I give up on my side, the plans to make it work. But at the same time, Priya, I want to tell you this. I think for a person right now, I'm in the position of, do I want to go abroad and study? Hell yes. Do I want to go abroad and work? Hell yes. Any given opportunity, Priyanka will be like, ciao, bye.
The truth is coming out.
But like, I think for me to feel that way, I really feel like the support system speaks a lot. So for you being my other half, I just want to say, you really made me feel like in a country so far away, you made me feel like you were right next to me at so many points that I cannot describe to you, whereby like just when I will start to feel like the homesick or like I'm upset about something, and that's when like you will call or you will message. And like I remember one of the times that like I was really gonna cry was like my Manchester trip, which is all over my Instagram, so I'm not gonna go on in details about it. Like my train got delayed and like I missed the platform, all those things. I nearly thought like that's it, no, I'm lost. And like even during that period of time, I think it was very late for you, am I right?
Yeah, I think it was 2 a.m, maybe 1, 2, 3 a.m.
And the sweetest thing that you really did was really make sure that I reached the other end safe, and you accompanied me while I was sitting down by myself. Like these were the moments that I feel it's one thing to go abroad, but it's so important that I learned to have like people at home who are so supportive about it, who make you feel like the distance is nothing. And with you, with my family, I always felt that when I was away, like I miss you guys definitely without a fact, but it's something to make me feel like, the distance is nothing. We are all still talking. We are still FaceTiming. We are still, we even caught a movie together, guys.
Oh my god, we did. I
Yeah.
forgot about that. We did catch a movie together.
Yeah, we were like, okay, so shall we watch it now? What's that app called?
It's called Cena, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, not sponsored by the way.
Yeah, it's not. But it's basically where you can watch Netflix and like have a video cam of, you know, how many other people are there and you can watch together. And it was really nice.
I'm going to conclude by saying that if there's anything I want to put out, it's not that I know a lot of people like to view this thing about going overseas that, oh, you're ditching your country, you're ditching your plans here, you're running away because you're coward about the things
Back
that's happened.
off.
Whoa. You know, like these are some of the things that people like to like say and stuff like that. But no, I think it takes a lot of courage to leave behind your family, your friends, your comfort, and you go there, you're all by yourself. But with that said, when the opportunity comes, if there's anything I want to put out and still look pretty, please take it and please go. Because it really changes you in a way that I can never truly define in words.
Very proud of you. Now, I think it's time for us to talk about the topic of today's episode. Today's topic is nothing other than redefining beauty.
That's right. So, when it comes to redefining beauty, right, I want to ask you first, how would you define beauty?
Right. Okay, I think there is an inner beauty and an outer beauty. I think I agree there's, two sides to beauty, but I do think the inner is always the one that shines brighter. Okay. I think your outer beauty elevates your inner beauty. So it's an enhancer. But your personality is what carries you and is what sticks with people longer and stronger than your outer beauty.
I think for me, when I definitely agree with you, there's something called inner beauty and outer beauty. And I'm going to say that for me, how I define beauty today is the fact that both exist hand in hand. I feel like you might be a wonderful person on the inside, but on the outside, if you also don't feel wonderful, quoted, definitely there's going to be a moment of crisis that you will be facing constantly. At the same time, if you feel extremely confident on the outside, but on the inside, you're so self-conscious, once again, the crisis kicks in. So I see beauty as something that is hand in hand. So let's travel a little back.
All right.
Priya, at the age of, let's say, 16 years old, Priya, how did you look at beauty back then?
Oof. Oh God, what a time. At that point in time, I think I defined beauty by a lot of things that I couldn't control. I believed what others told me were beautiful. So, and back in those days, or even now, I think, it comes with attaining a certain level of like features or like qualities. Like you have to be thin, you have to be tall. In Singapore, we are a multicultural society. So having different culture means we also have different definitions of beauty. And when you put everybody together and you do not educate them about these cultural differences, someone else who doesn't define beauty according to your standards may look at you and go, is that really beautiful? And I remember like I was insecure about the most pettiest things, like putting my hair in a braid was so like I felt so insecure about it because people would say, oh, it's such an Indian hairstyle with a negative connotation, like that's so like why would you, and I felt very, or like even wearing pottu to school, or putting oil in your hair, or like, like people like take notes of like, or pick on certain things, and that eats away at what you consider to be beautiful, right? So back then, Priya was definitely struggling with her definition of beauty because I was relying on other people to tell me I'm beautiful. But before I go into my conclusion, I do want to hear what 16-year-old Priyanka's. I mean, Priyanka is older than me, guys, so it's a longer time. So you might have to rewind.
You
longer.
watch out. All right. Okay. Priya is turning 23 next year. Just saying. Anybody who wants to date her, this is your time.
Okay, moving back to the point. So what does 16-year-old Priyanka, or how would 16-year-old Priyanka define beauty?
Definitely 16-year-old Priyanka has no such thing called they go hand in hand or whatever nonsense that I just said right now. It's not nonsense, by the way. But I guess like what you say, right? Because something that we don't really monitor, I feel. We talk so much about how kids shouldn't watch like NC-16 or R21 stuff. You have to monitor what they are watching and stuff like that. But even the representation of beauty in our mainstream media, of course, it's far worse now. Like, I worry for the time that my niece and nephew are going to grow up because they are already using phones. I worry for the future generations because we had to deal with like TV and radio, and that was already kind of influencing and shaping our heads about beauty. They are going to grow up at a time whereby they're going to be looking at social media also being put inside, you know. So during those times, like, I felt like, for an example, I don't know whether you remember, it still runs till today, Fair and Lovely advertisement about how like,
oh my God,
how like I remember those days whereby when I'm growing up, like I will always see how, I don't want to name the TV channel, but they will run it in loops of like how especially when you're brown skin, and that's the advertisement that you're constantly seeing on television. Honestly. Immediately, what does your head tell you? Okay, if I am beautiful, if I'm supposed to be considered beautiful, I need to be fair.
Yeah.
So these are the kind of things, and when you're growing up in the brown community, of course, like our shade is different, and then we see people in school, we meet different races, like what you say, and like we start to get so confused. If for you was like your hair and pote you mentioned, for me was more about what I was wearing. Like back then in secondary school, like it was like my close group of friends only, but I used to get teased over the fact as to why like I used to wear my PE shorts, my pinafore, they were always longer than the rest of the kids in school.
I see.
Okay, so it's one thing whereby, of course, like when someone joke with you, it's not like, you know, the line that they're just joking with you. Like.
Yeah.
But when it gets repeatedly said to your face that, hey, why you always wear, like, why is your pinafore always so long? Why is your shorts always so long? Like, because, okay, yeah, I will admit that odd one out in like everybody who wears like short, I'm the only one wearing it long. But nobody ever took the time to come and ask me, like, actually why? Like, is there something that is stopping you? Because back then, I used to define beauty as something that is completely external. Mm-hmm. And back then, I wasn't happy with the way that my body was turning out. Because to be honest, that's the stage where we go through, like, you know.
Yeah. Of course.
The period phase and everything. You're trying to figure out your body and how it looks and everything. So there was so many insecurities that I chose to always hide it and just keep it as like, okay, you know, just the more you cover, the more you don't show, and that's fine. And then it really took me a very long time to heal from it. And right now I'm going to say how I healed in a very short way. And this is going to be a complete surprise to Priya because she's going to be like, what the hell? But to be very frank with you, Priya, like the time that I really started to slowly loosen up was when I really met you. Because I feel...
You really want that free lunch, don't you?
She had to ruin the moment. It was like, yeah, I am trying to pour my heart. It's just like, you just want the lunch, right? No, but like, I'm being really honest, and I want to let you know that people actually noticed. Or at least the time that we became friends, I always like admired that side about you, how you used to wing your eyeliner. You see, this is why I always bring it out to you, because Priya used to like wing her eyeliner and like she had this very like girl boss sassy look. And like that period of time was when like we were becoming friends and everything. And I always liked the way as to how you confidently carried out like yourself. Mm-hmm. And I guess this is what they say, you know, it's so important to know who is in your life because they technically will shape you and they will change you in a positive or negative way.
That's right.
And for me, I really feel like you kind of made me steer towards the direction of like being confident in my skin. Internally, yes, that I never needed help with. Internally, I've always felt confident with the person I am, the conscious thoughts that I have, I know. But externally, I really needed help. And I feel like you came into my life during the part whereby I needed help. So I want to take this opportunity to actually thank you and say that thank you. I feel like externally right now, I have really went to the mindset of I look at the mirror, I see who I am, and I'm like, does this sit with me? Yes, it does. I'm confident. If it doesn't, I'm like, okay, you need to work out a bit. If you need to, work out, you know? But like what you say, I see it as a hand-in-hand thing.
Yeah.
So that's where I was, and that's how I've redefined beauty for myself.
Very beautifully said, my love. It's time to talk about what's trending.
That's right. So what's trending is actually nothing so great in the sense of like my heart is heavy as I share this news for sure. So by now, all of y'all would have heard about Queen Elizabeth. Her passing has definitely affected not just the UK, but it has definitely affected the rest of the world. How has it affected the rest of the world? Priya is going to go into it. But if you just want to know the gist of the details, I'm going to be the one giving you. So Queen Elizabeth, the UK's longest serving queen, has died at the age of 96 after 70 years of leading.
Iconic behavior right there.
Setting the standards of future generation, girl power, girl bosses, you know. But yeah, so she died peacefully on the 8th of September at her Scottish estate where she had spent much of her summer. So the Queen came into the throne in 1952 and witnessed enormous social changes. So at Buckingham Palace in London, when the news broke out, like crowds gathered. So definitely this is the gist of what is happening, what has happened. And I think I want to wrap up by saying that this is very close to heart for sure, in the sense of I just visited the palace this year and I wasn't ready for it because I'll be very frank. I always knew about the Queen's existence, yes, but how big a part she has played for the world, for the people of the UK, I only knew it when I visited Buckingham Palace. I only saw it from the outside. But the Holyrood Palace, I went inside and I heard everything and it just really, really breaks my heart. I think future generations, definitely her legacy is going to live on because people are going to be talking about this for years and years and years. Because a lot of things is going to affect the world.
Yeah, a lot of things is going to be changing. So not only will there be a new royal leader of the United Kingdom after the death of Queen Elizabeth, but things around the country from the national anthem to money will change as well. After the announcement of the monarch's death, her eldest son and heir, Prince Charles, 73, will become King Charles III. Plans had been in motion for the Queen's death for years, known as Operation London Bridge, as well as plans to begin the King's reign, known as Operation Springtide. But there are still things that will change in coming days, months, and possibly years. The national anthem for the UK is God Save the Queen. With King Charles on the throne, the name will change to God Save the King. All currency in the UK, known as pound sterling, features the Queen's portrait, which will eventually be replaced with the King's portrait. The Queen is also featured on stamps, which will soon feature the King as the old ones phase out. Flags across the country at police stations, government buildings, and other locations that have the Queen's cipher will now be replaced. The new logo, along with the colours, will soon be announced. Numerous titles in the royal family will also change. King Charles' wife, Camilla Parker Bowles, is now Queen Consort. Prince William and Kate Middleton, who were the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, are now the Duke and Duchess of Cornwall and Cambridge. Even though Prince Harry and Meghan Markle have left the royal family, there's a chance their children, Archie and Lilibet, could be bestowed the titles of Prince and Princess. That's a lot of changes. Alas, the day has arrived and it's a bitter one, I have to say.
But if there's anything I want to conclude from this entire what's trending is the fact that change is the only constant, and this is something that it's a bittersweet thing to always deal with.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, that's always going to keep coming. So brace yourself and embrace what may come. But like I said earlier, for generations and generations, this is going to live on. Her legacy is not going to go away, and people should definitely learn about her.
All right, everybody, it's time to move on to segment 3, which is the guest speaker of the month. I think a lot of Sit Still Look Pretty listeners look forward to this segment the most, and I think we look forward to this segment most. And we have a really special guest here with us today. I'm very excited, as you can tell. Welcome, Miss Lavania Priya. Mrs. Lavania Priya, actually.
Yeah. I still look like a miss, right?
Yes, you do. You do.
Truly do. Many of you are wondering who Mrs. Lavania Priya is. She's a freelance professional model. She has held titles of being former Miss Universe and Miss Earth finalist for Singapore Miss Glamorous title holder for Miss Indian International 2012. Her enterprise includes being a certified professional makeup artist and fashion stylist. Currently, she's also the owner of Lavly Lips and Lirio Vania. This month, the hashtag MomBoss walked away with the title of second runner-up of Mrs. Singapore. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So proud, so proud.
Thank you so much.
For today's topic, we discussed the topic of redefining beauty, which hopes to shine light on society's views on beauty and the standards held today.
Right.
With respect to that, do you think you have grown to manage this in your own special way of redefining beauty?
To be really honest, I think everyone would agree that beauty is in the eyes of the beholder, right? Everyone is beautiful. You just need makeup to enhance it. Like when I went to India, Chennai particularly, the girls there, they were all really beautiful. I'm not sure if you guys have heard. I did actually a Project X to actually transform the girls, the basic girls, and they actually looked like supermodels. So it's just not just about makeup, but about bringing out their confidence from within. The beauty itself, it's more about being confident in your own skin. That's what beautiful is about. The moment you get that confidence, you know that you are beautiful. There's nothing that's going to do to, break you down. Redefining beauty in today's society, we all together should embrace the fact that beautiful is just being confident in your own skin. That's it.
So I'm going to challenge you a little bit.
All right.
That's the definition that you hold today, am I right? But let's go back to your younger days.
Okay.
How did you look at beauty back then?
Beauty back then when I was 18, yeah.
Mhm.
Wow. That was really all about makeup, to be honest. Yeah. I was confident. I wouldn't say I was not confident. Today I definitely am much more confident than back then, because over this entire years I'm 33 this year. So there is more than 10, 20 years of experience of challenges that I have to meet, and things that broke me down for me to rise up again and everything. But back then there was not much challenges. It's just, hi, I'm pretty. That's about it. So back then, beauty was just pretty.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Now
Yeah.
that you have defined beauty for us, I want to ask you, so how did this interest come around in terms of your pageant journey? When did this interest first set into you?
So from my younger days, I've always liked the whole beauty line and everything. I used to actually dance in a dance group, and I was leading a very big group of girls and boys also, but girls in the way of teaching them how to dance, how to put makeup and everything. So I knew it was going to be somewhere around this line. I couldn't put my finger on it, but I knew it's somewhere going to be around this line. And then I joined Singapore Airlines, be flying for 10 years. So also along the same beauty, grooming and everything. And then Miss Universe have always been my cards for the longest time. I've always wanted to represent Singapore for Miss Universe. Unfortunately, I couldn't hit so I told myself I still need to go further, only because I feel that I need a bigger platform for all the messages which I want to bring up across.
Right.
So many things I want to address. My social media, I would think I created it on my own 8 years ago, and I would think I've really done a pretty neat job to garner these 12,000 followers which I have.
Definitely.
Yes, which is on my own, but what more a title?
What would you consider as some of the challenges that you have faced? Personally, one that really strikes out to you.
To be really honest, I don't see my challenges as a challenge. I feel I didn't have a challenge because my mind was always being strong and positive all the time. Yeah, so when someone asks me, what is your biggest challenge? I can never answer them, because at the back of my mind, it's always like, you got this, Lavania, you got this. Just go for it. If it's not A, it's B. If it's not B, it's C. You just will have a solution for everything. You just need to go on and find. But there were hurdles in my life, many, many hurdles. But yeah, each time I get through them, I just become a much stronger person. I tell myself, wow, okay, that's it. Wow, I actually overcome this. I'm not going to say that I don't break down. Of course I do break down. Everybody breaks down. Everybody, we under closed doors. But the only thing is I don't show it to people. I don't see a point as well also, like showing my weaknesses and all that. I just tell myself, just go forward.
Keeping that in mind, I want to ask you, how have your friends and family, whether or not they have supported you, or maybe they might not have, but
Right.
how would you what was your experience per se in the sense of like the kind of support or the backlash you have received so far?
My family is heaven sent.
Oh,
That's so sweet.
Let's start with my mother first.
Yes.
So she is the queen bee lah. Let's say she's the Iron Woman. I come from a single parent. My mom, she raised 3 kids all back to back. I mean, it's like we are all 1 year only apart from each other. Now that I have a kid who is 9 months, I'm wondering how did she even do one after another? You know, it's so close gap, right? It means she'll be having a toddler and then a baby. So now that I'm a mother, I really, like everyone says, when you're a mother, you actually understand your mother's struggles. I understand. Now I understand. I'm like, how did she even like, if I'm good, you guys should be interviewing her, not me actually. She is the Iron Lady and she does it all with like nothing, you know. She will go to work, overnight work. She'll come back, she'll cook, she cleans the house, everything. For me, I do all of those, but maybe like half of those, like I can never reach where she's, to be honest. My brother, like he is my number one support. Actually, I have a lot of number one supporters, so I don't know who to say in ranking order. Yeah, I really do have a lot. But yeah, my brother is someone who's proud of me. Like if you meet a friend, his friend, the friend will come back and tell me, wow, you know your brother, he's always so proud of you lah. Any conversation, he's always talking about you. My sister this, my sister, I'm like, okay. But my brother is the one person who is extremely proud of me. Like when I ask him help, he's the first person, like he will just come around to, you know, immediately.
So sweet.
Yes. My husband, I wouldn't say we have the perfect relationship, to be honest. Yes, we are made for each other and everything, but it comes with a lot of struggles. That's the real truth. I'm not going to fabricate it in any way. Yeah, we look good together and everything. Everyone have told me that in social media, but we do have our struggles. But my husband is also very God-sent because when he's supportive, he is 1,001% supportive. I'm not sure if you guys saw the part where he danced with me in my talent round.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's because of him that make the whole, because it's a missus, right?
Yeah.
So, and he's a person who cannot dance. Cannot. He's got 2 left feet.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
okay.
so the fact that, and he's also a bit of like full of pride kind of person. So the fact that he actually came down to my level to actually want to do this for me, like really, really meant a lot. Like, and the effort he actually put in, even for my RM, he did not put in this much of effort. I swear to God, yeah, he did not. But for this, I could see him. He actually went secretly. He thought I wasn't looking, but he went secretly to like practice. Okay, 5, 6, 7, 8, and he would practice on his own and everything. And when I was trying to answer my final Q&A from behind, even the MC said he would be like, louder, say your answer louder. Like, you know, yeah, he's really, and he's got a very kind heart lah, to be honest. Like he even bought for the contestants, like all of them food when they were all practicing. He's got the kindest heart, to be really honest.
That's so sweet.
So family-wise, friends also, it's going to take 1 hour, trust me. Yeah, I've got a very huge support system. To be really honest, I've not had any backlash.
Okay.
Until today, so I can't answer that. Yeah, so backlash, no. I'm very thankful and grateful to all my social media followers, especially because of them also, there's a huge reason why I am here today. So thank you, followers.
I think having a good support system also
important.
helps with having a strong mind. You know, I feel like they go hand in hand.
Yes.
And I can see why you are the strong woman you are.
Thank
sitting
you.
in front
Yes.
of us.
Thank you.
Moving forward to the present day,
Right.
with regards to Mrs. Singapore,
Right.
tell us how different the experience has been for you when comparing it against Miss Singapore.
Very different.
Very different.
You see a difference between girls and women. Yeah, really. Because a very good example I remember is the fact that I went to Langkawi with my baby. I was the only one who brought my baby. So it was really, that was really challenging. But the women around me, not girls, the women around me, they were the first people to, because you don't have to ask automatic, because they're already mothers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they already know like what I need and everything. Because I'm one person, like I wouldn't ask for help. I think that's one of my weaknesses also, I would say, because I just don't like asking for help. I like to do it myself, and I feel bad asking for help. But there were like particular women, they would come to me, hey Lavania, come, hey, pass me your bag. Just, you know, they would just automatically do it. And be like, no. And they'll just snatch it away from me. And they will just, you know, they will really, yeah. So that's the difference between a miss and a missus for me, because I had the first-hand experience of experiencing mothers who were really there to just help at any second. They saw me, not even struggling, to be honest, saw me just doing my thing, and they would be like, come, I'll carry, you take your break. Come, I'll do this, you do this. you know.
I ask you if you do, I do not mean this in a wrong way at all, but I do want to ask, do you find, because you describe competing with such wonderful women, is there a sense of competition, or it's more of it sounds like more of a sisterhood and you're just on like a,
It is indeed a sisterhood. In our pageant, I wouldn't say there wasn't cliques. There was. Towards the end, we could feel that. At the start, definitely no. It was a very good sisterhood.
Right.
But when the competition, naturally, when the competition heats up, everybody forms there, whatever. There was a good sisterhood. I made really good friends. Like even my talent round, when I came back, because the competition was held such, my red dress round first, and then immediately I'm the first girl to go out for my talent. First girl to go out, and I'm the one having the most number of accessories to wear, including my flowers and my... So when I ran in, but they have to change out to their outfits as well. But like this girl, Yen, she came to me, she was like, quickly, tell me what you need. I didn't even ask her for help, but she didn't even concentrate on herself. She's a contestant,
Oh my
And she came back, she was like, okay, tell me what next. I'm like, okay, Yen, bangles, earrings. Because I only had 5 minutes to actually get everything on. So you can see even on the competition day, they were all just out there to help me. So I think I made more friends, sisters, more than... I really don't look at them as contestants.
But was there anything that made you hesitate when you were signing up? Or
There was a bit of hesitation, to be really honest. Now when I rewind back to the time where I was going to sign up, at that point of time, the only thing that was on my mind is like, I must get the title. So that gave me a lot of pressure for my own self. Moreover, now with Lirio, will I be able to commit with all the visitations? We had a lot of back-to-back sponsors visitations, like Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So the schedule was really hectic. I have to bring him along for some of it because I'm 100% breastfeeding him. So it was really... And then unfortunately, I had to give him a bit of formula because there was some parts where I really couldn't cope already because he would be crying for too long already. So that's my mind. That is the weakness of my mindset. So when I set my mind to something, I cannot change it. So I told myself at the start itself, for 2 years solid, I'm going to give him 100% breastfeeding. So that was the real reason. Then I asked my director. Thank God she was very supportive. I was actually thinking, is she going to say yes? Is she going to be like, are you mad? Why would you bring a baby to a photo shoot? But no, she was actually really supportive. She said an immediate yes. And I was like, okay, since my director itself is saying a yes, means this should be a sign that I should bring him and just continue my journey. So because of the 100% breastfeeding, I had to bring him. But it was nice because I genuinely want to bring him wherever I go. Also because I miss him a lot when he's at home. So yeah, that's one reason I always want to bring him.
I find it so inspiring to listen to you talk about this, because I feel like when we want to achieve in something in life, I think a lot of people do have a sit down and have a moment of like, maybe I need to sacrifice some of the other things I want in order to get something that I really want.
Yes.
But I feel like you've shown us a new way where you're like, no, if you're really passionate about multiple things, you can find your way to ensuring that, you do both.
I'm someone whereby there's a lot of things I want to do. I set goals and everything for myself, and I'm a go-getter for sure. I would say that for myself. But the only thing that I feel like definitely you inspire me in the sense that when things start to become so hard, I'm like, okay, like what Priya says, I'm like, okay, maybe I have to sacrifice this. Maybe I have to let go of this. Maybe why not? Then I get fickle-minded. I'm like, maybe what I'm chasing for isn't it after all. But you come from a way of like, no, if you put your mind to it, you go.
Yes.
I need that right now in my life.
Yes, for sure. Now that I believe you guys are still single. Like, right? Like, yeah, the more... No. I mean, the more... It's not obvious. I mean, you guys look amazing. The more you should be able to achieve, you know what I mean? Yeah, the more, I mean...
For sure.
If you're going to get married and kid, the responsibility is just going to double up.
Yeah.
But like I said in my pageant itself, if I can, so can you. Anybody can.
I think you've straddled motherhood and your passion very beautifully. Congratulations to you.
Thank you so
now
much.
I want to move on to the business aspect of your life, because we know that you're running 2 brands under your name, right? So what inspired you to start both of it?
COVID.
Done.
I think COVID made everybody a chef, some artist, that whole period where everybody was just doing something homemade and,
Right.
which was good. You see, you need a challenge to actually challenge yourself, because we all have been too comfortable in the places we've been, we needed something like that to actually hit us, to tell us that, look, like now my friend, she's earning because of her paintings. When she was flying with Singapore Airlines, but she's doing so well. I never knew she had such a talent. She paints so nicely. Her name is Malini, by the way. And I was like, wow, so many talented people around me. Where did you guys hide your talent all this while? You know what I mean? So COVID was what inspired me to do my lip scrub because I'm very into skincare. And then at that point of time, I don't know what happened. I think my lips I'm always very paranoid about my skin. Like, this must be this must be that. And so my lips was one thing where I was like, why is it getting darker? Okay, let me Google and see what can I do. And then I created this product. And then I let my brother try it because he was a smoker. So I told him, try it. I think your lips might become pink. And then, true enough, his lips did become pink. So I'm like, wait, okay, try it a bit more on more smokers first. So that is how it really. So I was like, wow, okay, because mine, I don't smoke. So it was just getting pinks. But I wanted to test it on smokers' lips actually because it might be beneficial for them, right? So it worked. And I'm like, okay, lovely lips. Let's just. So that's how lip scrub came about. And Lirio Vania came about because it's after being a mother, because Lovely Lips was when I was single still. I didn't have Lirio back then. But Lirio Vania was when me and my son, I always want to have matching clothes for him. So it's always a mother-daughter clothing line or a father-son clothing line.
Yeah,
There's never a mother-son. It's so hard. Even when you go on Shein or whatever, you really cannot find them. It's very limited. So I told myself, if I can't find it, I'll make it myself. So that's how that whole thing came about.
What do you see for yourself in the future?
I'm
Any
very
sneak,
excited for
like
this.
sneak preview for us?
Wow. Okay. Sneak preview.
It's a sit still look pretty special sneak preview.
Right. Okay. Like I said, there's actually a lot of things on my mind which I want to do, which will be to open a pageant school for a lot of
manifesting.
Yes,
Right.
manifesting. A proper pageant school like the one they have in India and Venezuela, because they are always clinching the titles, right? For, like Miss India, Hana Sandhu and all that, because they go to a proper school for it. Like they have intense training. For Singapore, I don't know of anything that is very strong enough. So in terms of grooming, or even just for grooming girls from a very young age, I'm sure young girls would like that, I hope.
Definitely at this point of time, you were saying earlier, you were like, I mean, a lot of girls grew up wanting to go for pageants.
Yes.
That was me. But it never came to
You
daylight.
still can, by the way, just to let you know.
Right?
Yes,
Yeah.
you still can. Miss Universe is still ongoing. So, yes.
I will wait for the day where the pageant school comes on board. You'll see a sign
No,
out. You'll be like,
no.
this is a familiar name that I've
Then
seen.
we might be too old, Priyanka. Then we might no longer.
Then you'll join the missus. You still never stop. No,
That's
but
right.
yes, you should. Yes.
Okay, one final question I have for you. I kind of don't want to let her go. Could you name the most fulfilling part of your journey so far? Whether it's about motherhood or following your passion and doing what you are doing right now. What has been the most fulfilling to you?
I really need to deep into to answer that. But right now, the first answer that came to me was honestly sitting here with you ladies talking. And yeah, really, that was the first answer that came to my mind. So yeah, thank you for having me. Really, because the reason why I'm also saying that is also because I honestly feel our Indian society, they ought to give recognition. This is one thing which I've spoke about in my own social media. They ought to give recognition for a lot more Indian people who have made it. They have not, honestly. Like even when a group of us, we participated in London. We won first prize. No one knew anything about it. We only publicized in our social media. And we asked why, how come?
Yes.
We got first prize for Singapore in a foreign country, UK. competing, we did really
It's a
well.
huge thing,
So
for
that's
sure.
of course that's a huge thing, but no recognition given. I know so many under recognized. That's why I always try my best to do my part to push. Like there's so many, like we have Baha, we have Sharon, so many. The list will just go on and go on. But we ought to give recognition for those who really deserve it. That's why I say this moment here is very special for me, for you guys to actually kickstart it.
When we started like this, like that was one of the main goal that I was trying to tell her. I said that I want to travel this path of going whereby we stop showing faces or like asking faces to come on board, whereby there's already publicity there, but there are so many faces that deserve so much more publicity, but why are these people not being shown? And that's what we wanted to do, and that was so such a hard.
You guys are doing a
touching
brilliant
moment.
job. Trust me. Yeah, you guys are going to make it far. And I wish you both very, very, very so much more success.
Oh,
You're so
you are the
much.
sweetest. My heart is completely melted.
Priya's not going to let you go at this
Yeah,
point,
no,
but you
I
have to
should.
let her go.
Yeah, I should. Thank you so much
You're
for
most welcome,
joining
ladies.
us.
You're most welcome.
Thank
Thank
so
you for
much.
having me.
Would you like to let our listeners know your socials? So if they ever want to reach out to
okay.
you, they know how to.
So I go by LV Cullen. The reason why that name is because, no surprise, is the Twilight thing only. The Cullen is from Edward Cullen.
I see.
Yeah. And then now I try to change my name to Lavania Priya, but I think it's not allowing me to because too many users have that same name. And I don't want to put the numbers behind. I think it looks very unprofessional. So LV Cullen. LV Cullen is my socials. In Facebook, I'm not extremely active, to be honest. It's auto-connected from my Facebook, Instagram to my Facebook. But I go by Lavania Priya in Facebook.
All right. Thank you once again, Lavania.
Thank
It was
you.
an absolute pleasure. We wish you nothing but the best in all that you do. We had a
Thank you.
wonderful time.
Thank you, Priyanka and Priya. I'm Lavania Priya.
So there's
It's a-
three
yeah.
Priyas in one recording
yes,
today.
yes. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
And unfortunately, it is time to go to the last segment. Give
So-
it to us, Priyanka.
The quote of the month is by Taplin, and he says this: "We all practice self-love, but the crucial truth is we've got to earn it. Take responsibility for your poor habits and work to overcome them. Become someone you can trust in, depend on, and admire. Someone you can feel genuinely charmed to wake up each morning. Set the same standards for your self-love as you would for the love of another. Back up your words and promises with positive actions."
I think I have to say this is one of my favorite episodes because I just, all throughout this recording, I feel like it's been so positive in a sense that, we've really talked about embracing yourself and loving yourself and how important it is to love yourself. And I think Taplin has laid it out beautifully for us. And it's that loving yourself isn't something that, you can attain at some point and then you'll just always love yourself.
That's right. Yeah.
Loving yourself is a journey and it's something that you probably have to do for the rest of your life. Putting value in what you think of yourself is much more important because at the end of the day, you're the only person that's going to be with you till the end of time.
There was this line that was said, which I really feel like it's so close to my heart. Is the line is set the same standards for your self-love as you would for the love of another. And I feel like very often we always find ourselves like very quickly giving compliments to the people around us, like, wow, you're so hot, or like the guy looks like great in that. But
Who?
that was fast. Nice one, huh? But you know what I'm trying to say,
Yeah.
right? Like in the aspect of like we give compliments so freely. I mean, that's how it should be. Please compliment the people around you. But I feel like if we could just do half of that to ourselves, it would be such a nice feeling at the end of the day. Like what I said, your body on the outside might never be perfect in your eyes. And maybe how you feel on the inside might be a very long journey ahead. But at the end of the day, as long as you acknowledge it and you work towards achieving the ideal, for an example, weight, in a healthy way, and you continue to love yourself during this process, that's all that matters, at the end of the day, like seriously. And no matter how long, I think I really want this episode to end on a note that no matter how long it takes to accept yourself, don't lose faith.
Travel the journey.
That's right. And keep redefining beauty to whatever it might be as far as life goes. Never stop redefining it. and making it a better version for sure.
Thank you guys for joining us today on Sit Still Look Pretty. It's been a fun one for sure. We will catch you with another guest and a new cup of tea in the next episode. This is Priya
And Priyanka.
on Sit Still Look Pretty, 'cause girl, you're more than a quick gaze.